The stiffest wrestler you ever worked with?
Uh, Haku.
Really?
Yeah, Haku. Wahoo McDaniel. More Haku just once in a while, but Wahoo McDaniel, I had a vicious feud with him in the Carolinas, and he beat the hell out of me every night till I finally got mad and hauled. I mean, I'd be, I'd chop him back, right? But one night I just said, fucking had it. And he was all coked up and he didn't know where he was throwing the chops. And so I just hauled up and hit him as hard as I could right in the face. And he went down on one knee and shook his head. And that's when I realized, hey, I got a pretty good punch. But I loved Wahoo McDaniel, and he came up and complimented me and says, "You're one tough son of a bitch." So, but then we're right back the next few days where he's beating the shit out of me again. But I had to respect Brian. He
This
always respected me. He just, I guess I liked being beat up for a while. I got tired of it.
did
My
he?
chest would be bleeding every night. And George Scott says, well, here's how you heal that. You just take rubbing alcohol and throw it on all them cuts. And it hurt like fucking hell. But you know what? Then I had big calluses on and still to this day, I got the roughest chest in the world. The scars are still there.
And it cures pink eye as well, I believe. Alcohol.
No, beer does.
Oh, beer does. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a callback from to the last interview. We'll bring it up. Did
Yeah,
Wahoo
yeah.
McDaniel? Did he spray paint his head?
Yes. Yes. Whatever that stuff was, it was shoe polish. That's what it was, spray shoe polish, but it was just like on the top. So he would spray that, and it wasn't bad looking.
Did you ever
It had little hairs in it.
Did you ever headlock him and then you'd have a big black ring around your arm?
Uh, I think it pretty much stayed in pretty good. I think Pedro Morales did the same thing,
Oh, did he really?
and it stayed in, just covered up. Because when you get into the ring lights, like right now, if I was at a bald spot, you could probably see it. But those guys had dark hair, hard to cover up a bald spot, and so they'd spray. It did a pretty good job.
Do you right? This is okay. This is not on the list. I just wanted to ask this: have you ever wrestled somebody who was wearing a wig? Because I know there was Bruno wore a wig for a while.
Yeah, I wrestled Bruno.
Yeah,
And it was on Channel 11 in Pittsburgh. That was the big Channel 11, Pittsburgh. That's where the wrestling came out. That was the biggest station in Pittsburgh. And I think it was an independent, or it could have been ABC one. Anyway, it was on top of the hill. We used to drive up there and we'd do wrestling on top of the hill. And they'd have a few fans in there. But what was really odd was when I'd be in the ring and I'd look, and it looked like people, but they were painted on the wall. But there was people in there, right? And it all echoed real good. But this one wall was all painted, people painted on the wall. And Bruno came up to me, and I didn't care much for Bruno. I know he's a fucking legend and everything. But my dad didn't like him, so I wrestled him a couple times, and the Garden, Madison Square Garden, and the other Garden, Boston, and he just wanted to hold me down in a headlock all the time. I didn't appreciate that, but so I'm getting ready to wrestle him on television. He goes, Greg, I got you, and I want you because I know how stiff you are, and I got this wig on. And I want to wear it in the ring, and eventually he just ended up shaving his head anyway, right? But I want you to give me a bunch of those elbows on top of the head and see if that wig will stay on. So we got in there, and he said, "Come on, hit me." I said, "Finally, I get to hit this motherfucker." Bam, bam. I didn't like Bruno. Fuck him. I'm sorry, Bruno. At least I'm looking up, right? Fuck him. So it was really funny. He starts sweating. He said, "Come on, kid, keep coming." And he's starting to sweat, and now it's starting to look like a brick on top of his head.
Ah.
And it's running down the side. So he gets back in the how I look. I go, oh, I look good.
So he didn't have
he
he
did.
didn't have a backup
That's a
wig.
long answer to your question, but we're filling up time here.
It was a great answer. It was a great answer.
Okay,
He didn't have a backup
I'm
wig
very
then.
dramatic with my shit, but it's all true.